Hello, everybody. This is a Lamley showcase. Getting a little more crisp outside. Beautiful, beautiful day for an outdoor showcase. Got the jacket on today, a little more crinkly than normal. Nice to have a jacket on again. I'm above Capitol Reef National Park. It's absolutely stunning up here, and I just love this location. And I have some cars to show. I haven't done a showcase, a new model showcase, or an actual highlight showcase. Did the N and P case unboxings last week. Sorry for the bad sound. And now I thought I would just showcase the cars, and I just picked a nice location to do it. Hopefully you like it. So we're just going to get to it, walk through these very, very quickly, and I'm going to do this showcase, and then I've got a Fast and Furious showcase after that. Probably won't be in a location like this. You can hear thunder in the background. Maybe we'll catch a bolt of lightning randomly if we're lucky. I mean, not catch it here, catch it in the distance. I got blue skies here. Anyway, let's just start. There's quite a few highlights. We'll focus on the super treasure hunts. So the models that are the super treasure hunts, like the Datsun 510, this is the N and the P case. We'll worry about those and their basic counterparts later. We're going to be doing a full showcase on those as we get closer to the Lamley Awards, but we're getting close to finishing off the new models as well. So we're just going to start with this one. This is the 89 Mazda Savana RX7. I am a huge fan of this casting, and I wonder if this is something that Mazda has asked, but this model has been done just in clean colors the entire time. If I had them with me, I'd bring them out, but I mean, anyway, this is the RX7 in black. We've seen it in as in white, green. This is a recolor of the green model, right? And I'm going to have to do a picture. Maybe I'll do a picture on Instagram of all the different colors they've done. I know there's been a yellow version that was in a 5-pack. I think that was yellow. But it's really cool that they've kept these clean, and I hope they keep doing them. It's created quite a cool family of cars. And I think that one is pretty sweet. All right, let's move on. Had to pull out the 62 Corvette. This is a casting that I think the only other one I have in the collection is the Super Treasure Hunt from quite a few years ago, at least 10, 11 years ago. That was a beautiful one as well with the big 5 spokes on it. This one is cool with I said this in the unboxing, it looks like it's just a black and white model. Almost looks like it's from a picture from way back in the early 60s, a black and white photo, just because of the way they did it. It has the racing stripe on it, the roundel on the side. It's just super clean. It's super cool. And I just thought this is one I would normally not put in the highlights, but just the execution of this one is just fantastic. So I thought that one merited some focus as well. All right, let's keep going. Another one that just doesn't seem to ever go wrong is the 84 Audi Sport Quattro. And I had to pull this one out. This one gets the disc wheels on it, or the Aero style, I guess we could call it, which I think are really, really nice here. Anytime it gets the racing, I mean, it can be clean and it's beautiful. It can be a racing and it's perfect. This one always gets the front grille, which is really, really important on this one. It doesn't get the back because it's basic, but as we've seen it in premium as well. I just think the run of this car, from the Super Treasure Hunt to the premiums to the racing versions they've been doing, including this year. We've had a Zamac out of this one. I just think it's fantastic, and I just am a huge, huge fan of that model. Moving on, keeping on going, I did pull this one out. Now, we'll focus on the Supers later because I don't have the 510 with me, but the Porsche 935, it isn't the Super Treasure Hunt. It looks almost exactly the same, but we've seen the run on this one, and so I just thought, well, I guess I'll do the 510 later because I did forget it. But this is the NK Super, right? And then the 510 is the PK Super. But Porsche looks cool, nice, clean anniversary, 75th anniversary deco on this one. That plus the premium that just came out, just kind of time for this casting. And last year's versions are really nice as well. So really digging that one. All right. Those are the non-new models. Let's move over to the new models. Now I can't even remember. I think this one came. Oh, and I'm forgetting one. We'll just start with this one. I grabbed these out of the P case, I believe, but this is the 57 Jeep FC. Really, really cool. And Phil Reelman designed this one. He talked about this in one of the showcases that we did. And, cab over engine Jeep, obviously utility truck from well, back in the 50s. And obviously this one's been modified. I think it's been modified into an EV. I could be wrong, but it's got all that modification in the back to make it drive faster, modernize it up a little bit. And I do like that they do these for basic. They can do all these kind of fantasy models. We'll talk about the Camaro in a second. But I just think that these are really, really cool. And I think this one is, I dig the design. You always want to see some realistic models, which we're going to see. Like if you look here, actually, if we just go down, you look, that's kind of a fantasy, like realistic fantasy, realistic fantasy, realistic fantasy, total factory, total factory. That's a nice mix. Obviously the Mercedes that I love is part of that, you know, and you can see there's just a lot to like. So let's go to that Porsche that we talked about. Here it is, Porsche 928S Safari. Nice to see the Porsche done. I hope they do a clean version, but I'm not complaining about this one because I think this is also from basic, just a fantastic, fantastic design. And you see the innovations that they've been giving with these castings, because now you can see the taillights done, which actually works here. So you always have the taillights and they won't have to tempo that. They can put racing on the side, and especially with this Safari style, you always want to put racing on the side. I guess you could do a clean version and get away with it in certain types, but for the most part, you're going to want to put racing, and then they can put that front tempo on. Obviously, it leaves them not able to put anything on the top, but who knows? Who knows what we'll see going forward. But this casting is so well executed, and I love the fact that it's in that Safari style. So big fan of that one. Let's go to the Viper. I've showcased this one before. I think we did a preview on it. We've seen it. Super, super clean. The old Viper casting, people think because there's the older Viper, the RT10 that was done that has the huge wheels on it. It's actually in the mix this year, which is kind of funny that they did the new model. But they also did the old casting in the basic mix this year. Has some people confused. Go look at that basic one, then look at this one, and you'll go, oh, yeah, I get it. This is far, far better. I think they might have just said, we have these 3-spoke wheels now. We have to do the Viper. And they did, and in red. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I'd love to see one in black and some other colors, but how can you, like, the red Viper, this is the iconic Viper. This is when this thing came out and we were like, what is up with Dodge? Dodge, who does all those ugly cars? Like, what is going on in this Viper? I remember the Stealth came out about the same time. Like a really, really cool era, kind of even before their kind of muscle era with the Challenger and the Charger and things like that. Well, the new muscle era, right? Love this and love that it's a throwback to that time. All right, let's keep going. Oops, drop some cars, but I can pick them up. Let's do this custom 68 Camaro before I drop the Bugatti. Beautiful model as well. And I love this custom 68 Camaro. We've seen two Camaros that I think I still consider the 70 Camaro my favorite, but there's two castings that are kind of fantasy castings. One was based on the Fast and Furious Off-Road. I love that casting. And then this new one, this custom 68 Camaro, is just a killer, killer design. It's got really cool deco. It's a great first version of this. I hope we see a recolor in it. But modified as like this racing car, this kind of street, futuristic, like almost like Mad Max style, but then you've got these Japanese twists on the deco as well. I mean, it's just one of the coolest. Can you imagine this driving up to a car show or in a movie? I think this is one of the most creative. Like I would put like where the 560 SEC is my favorite casting of the year, and there's others here that I really like. This one might be just the most interesting that they've done this year. I'm such a huge fan of it. And I think a lot of people are really liking it too. I think you guys have to tell me what you think about that. And lastly, we have the Bugatti. It's always hard to know what's going to be the model of the year this year. Well, I think the 560, I think the Alfa Romeo has been a big player. This Viper is going to be a big player. And I think this Bugatti Bolide, I think it's Bolide, is going to be one as well. Same thing, really cool car and beautifully, beautifully executed. I especially like the taillights on this one, how they've done it. I mean, Bugatti did a great job in doing the taillights. This car is so menacing, so different, and how they've executed it is just brilliant. So where are we at on the new models? I actually have them with me, and we'll be doing the Lamley Awards, but we can kind of get a sense of what of where we're at. We only have the Q mix, And then I think we're done. Maybe some store exclusives. But if we start going through, I don't have to review all of them, but all of the new models plus their recolors, some store exclusives, you start getting a sense of what a strong mix of basics we have this year. That's the first part of it. And then if I turn it around, you go into the second part. I actually forgot to add the next Mitsubishi into the highlights, but we need to add that. And then we have the Super, which isn't technically, but like the Pininfarina from last year, it's going in. I think we're getting a recolor of this one. I don't know if we're getting a recolor of this one. You guys can tell me. Don't know if we're getting a recolor of this one. The Ford doesn't fit where it's supposed to go because it's too big. And then we can start adding these other new models. I don't know if I have them in particular order. I got to remember what's a P case. I know that this is a P case, so it would go down here. The Viper. Then we have the Jeep. Go right there. I'm actually pulling these out of my pocket. The Bugatti right there. So it just happens when you do an outdoor. And then, of course, the Camaro. Look where we're at. Got to add that Mitsubishi. Then we have a couple more, I think, that add. And then we're done, and we can start doing the Lamley Awards. They're going to be a little different, obviously, this year because we're not going to finish all the premium. But I want to get them done before the end of the year. You guys can tell me preliminary what your favorite is. I'm not making it a secret. There it is. But my goodness. Maybe I proclaimed it too early because there's some really, really good ones in this. All right, you guys take in the beautiful scenery. This is a fun video to do. Always like being here. Thanks, everybody. Bye.